This is news. This is actual news, is it not, guys? Can you tell us what's happening? Ted, you start out. Or Joe, since you're William Hill.
Good, Joe.
Yeah, look, we're excited today. We've been working with our friends here at Monumental for a while to try to get over the line, and we have, and we're going to build a brand new sports book here inside of the Capital One Arena in the heart of Washington, D.C. We're really excited about it. It's going to be accessible to folks from the street as well as from the arena, and it'll be the first sports book inside of a sports arena here in the U.S. And so we're looking forward to getting going with it.
And I'm very excited about using interactive data in the sports book to make a more exciting experience for our fans, give fans a rooting interest in the teams, and we will work very, very closely with the people at William Hill to make sure that this is best in class, most modern sports book. But more importantly, we want to start to drive towards the future where big data and gamification really ups the game and makes a broader base for sports gaming and gambling.
What's the state now, guys, of the in D.C. with legalized gambling? Is it September 30th, the key date, Joe?
Well, there's not a specific date, and you bring up a good point in that this is all subject to regulatory approval, but the D.C. legislature has passed a law that legalizes sports betting at a number of locations, but most prominently for us, of course, is right at the arena. So the legislature has permitted a sports book to be built within the arena, and not only will people be able to go and bet over the counter, but you'll be able to bet on your mobile phones anywhere within the arena. So the precise timing, we don't have a date yet, but we're getting hard to work on it. We got to get through the licensing process with the D.C. Lottery, and then hopefully we'll get up and running in the not too distant future.
What's the future look like, Joe, in terms of this? In 5 years, will there be betting everywhere in arenas for every sport?
Well, look, right now this is rolling out on a state-by-state basis. So the Supreme Court ruled, of course, last year that it was up to the states to decide what they wanted to do with sports betting. Some states are moving quicker than others, and the states are all doing it a little bit differently, and I think that's to be expected. Clearly, in the future, the bulk of the betting is going to be on mobile. I mean, that's the case in Nevada today, where we do over 70% of our business on mobile devices, and it's a higher percentage for us elsewhere. That'll continue, but there's still a big, big role to be played for retail sportsbook in that retail environment where people can congregate, get together with friends, have a few drinks. And in addition to a sportsbook, this is going to be a great bar restaurant. We're working with one of the leading guys in the industry to develop a great concept for it. So it'll be a place where people can come and not, just transact, go up to the counter, make their bet and leave, but hang out, spend a few hours, and really enjoy a great social experience.
Joe brings up a good point for people who own venues,
right,
like we do here in Washington, D.C. It brings the building alive on a longer basis. Right now, most of our activity is obviously 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock during game nights. We drive 3 million people through the turnstiles here, and now the city downtown, we can bring people in, have lunch. They can be watching on all of the televisions here games from around the world. They can learn about odds. They can learn about gaming. They can place bets. And as Joe said, we want to bring a fine dining experience and make this a destination for the city.
We kind of do that here, I think, with people watch us and kind of you can do things on their mobile phones too with stocks and things like that. Does it? Well, are your teams going to be worth more? What does it all add up to, Ted, for professional sports?
Ratings.
And ratings and gambling.
I think this is a big part of the future of the game. Not only is it a new revenue stream, I think it'll make our media rights more valuable. I think we have seen through fantasy gaming that the more interactive a fan is, the more they're understanding what data they can interact with, the more they'll watch the games on television or their mobile devices. I also think coming into the arena, we have to continue to make sure that we're investing in new technology, and we will make sure, working with William Hill, that the sports book is a part of the fabric of what the fan experience is.
Hey, guys, let me ask you the skeptical question about this is, how much do you worry about a backlash? And we're not there yet, obviously, but at some point, and this happened in the UK and elsewhere, you had situations, especially on mobile devices and other things, where, right now, so much of this is regulated. So if you're in Vegas and you're betting on a sports book and you get drunk, we talked about this with a guest, actually, a couple weeks ago, they cut you off, both from the alcohol and the ability to bet. That becomes a lot tougher when it comes to mobile, when it comes to some of these other environments. And then there becomes a liability issue. Then there becomes a headline risk issue. How much of that is on your mind?
Look, I think it's always in our mind to be responsible and to make sure our customers are behaving and enjoying our product on a responsible basis. We put a big focus on it. You point out that there's been regulatory backlash in other parts of the world and in the UK, and it's really not specific to sports, right? It's gaming more broadly, and so I think the American Gaming Association. I'm on the board. It's something that we pay a lot of attention to, and I think it's incumbent upon all operators to act responsibly.
But is there something to do differently, Joe? Is there something that is there a lesson learned in the experience across the pond, as they say?
Yeah, well, I think the big lesson is to be careful and watch out and try to get ahead of these issues before there does before you do have a big backlash. And so, whether that's monitoring what customers are doing very carefully, keeping an eye out for folks who may be having a problem, or there's other type of inappropriate activity, whether it's in your facility. Frankly, it's something that I think applies across the spectrum for business owners more broadly. And it's obviously something in our industry that we're very much focused on.
Yeah, we're very focused on, and one of the reasons we chose to partner with William Hill, they have 85 years of experience in this, but they're solely focused on sports gaming and betting. They're not a big hospitality company and general casino kind of business, and we want to focus on creating new products for a new generation. And for me, the most important thing is growing the market. We don't want to keep this in a niche. We want to make this a interactive gaming business that has relevance and can serve all of our fans.
Hey, Ted, whenever you've been coming on a long time, we always used to call you billionaire, Ted Leonsis. So you've got investments all over the place. You still got investments in the stock market? And did yesterday and the day before, or did it give you pause? Did you sell everything? Are you not sleeping well at night?
No, I'm sleeping well at night, and most of my investments are in private companies and through Revolution in private companies. And right now, the IPO market is pretty choppy, and so I like where we are with a lot of our investments. A company like Sport Radar, which we're an investor in, which is also in the sports gaming business, is doing very, very well. And I try to look at the global business environment. And right now, the sports gaming industry on a global basis is growing and very healthy.
Well, and he's happy, too, because the Capitals won their opener and the Mystics are in the finals.